10 at 10.
From helping to treat bones that are broken to detecting cancer, X-ray technicians have a big responsibility in the health arena. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. When you walk into the hospital, the people taking care of you know what to do.
There's some concern about the skill level for those who perform X-rays. And a North Dakota legislative bill making its way through the House may in part be creating those concerns. Valley News Team's Krista Boehm is here to explain the bill and examines those who could be treating you or your family. Krista?
Right now, X-ray technicians are only considered certified after they pass a national exam. A nurse, however, would be considered licensed once they become nurses. The bill being considered in Bismarck would allow X-ray techs to be considered licensed and could do more, especially in an emergency situation. They would join limited operators who also can perform X-rays. However, that's raising a red flag regarding qualifications.
Welcome, come on in.
Walking into warning signs. It can be a bit intimidating.
I have children, so my main concern would be for their safety.
Generally, when you get an X-ray, it's from a qualified X-ray technician. Erin Hetlin was an X-ray technician for 9 years.
I went to school to NDSU for 4 years, and then I interned at Merit Care for 2 years. And so it takes a lot of schooling to understand the principles of X-ray.
A skill she says she still hasn't mastered, which is why a piece of a bill in North Dakota concerns her.
I shouldn't have to ask, are you qualified to be taking my X-rays?
She supports X-ray techs being licensed to perform more aspects of the X-ray process, but has concerns about limited operators, people working side by side with X-ray techs, but not as qualified.
Like a lab tech or an LPN who just cross-trained into X-ray, like they kind of follow an X-ray tech around for a few days and then they consider them.
And Belle Pfeiffer, who manages Sanford's radiology department, says that's been the case since 2003.
There are people that are trained to do just very minute X-rays, very low-risk X-rays in the rural communities, and they do have minimum training requirements.
The bill would allow the limited operators to need some kind of medical background, but not specifically in radiology. And when it comes to having enough training to provide quality X-rays, Hetlin says that's not enough.
The quality of an image is only as good as the person taking the X-ray. Things can be missed. A diagnosis could be missed.
Limited operators can be anyone from a nurse to a lab technician. They do not have to pass the same kind of national exam an X-ray technician has to. This bill would not allow them to do more if asked by others. Mike?
All right, Krista, this bill has already passed the state Senate and will be looked at by the House next week.
Warriors against North Dakota's Common Core curriculum say that they think you should opt your children out of the standardized testing. Lawmakers in Bismarck are trying to pass a law that would allow parents to do so. Legally, parents can already do so for most tests, but some parents say educators don't always grant that request. A group called Operation Opt Out is pushing to make sure all parents can choose whether they want their kids taking these exams.
They don't really reflect how a student is doing academically, because they're, if one child answers the question this way, another child answers it this way, then it goes on to a different question for each of those children. Parents can't see those tests. And as a parent, we have the right to know what's going on in our child's education.
Some teachers are against the bill, saying it's a slippery slope. The fewer kids who take these tests could affect the way $2 billion in state funding will be split up. And you can like Valley News Live on Facebook to join this conversation about this story. You can also get the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live. Make sure you like the page and stay informed throughout the entire day.
A 61-year-old Dilworth, Minnesota woman is accused of stealing more than $400,000 from a Clay County business. Christine Schmidtke is charged with taking the money from the firm she worked for, the Clay County Abstract Company. She's facing 5 felony charges of theft by swindle, and if convicted, she could face 10 years behind bars and a $20,000 fine on each count. Valley News Live contacted her former employer. They declined to comment. It's Friday, time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say this individual, Christopher Wilkins Sr., is wanted for conspiracy to commit theft of property. Call police if you have any information on Wilkins' whereabouts. And if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. 701-237-6576. Call that number and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Muslim leaders in the FM area want lawmakers to know Christianity, Judaism, and Islam all share a very similar message. This comes after a leader of the Bismarck Muslim community was asked to open the house in prayer on a different day, allowing a Christian to open with prayer on the Christian holiday Ash Wednesday. Now, the issue really heated up after comments were posted on the Republican District 24 Facebook page, equating a Muslim leader praying on Ash Wednesday to, quote, political correctness at its worst. Those comments on the FM Muslim community have them not happy.
Some of the comments that have been made in Bismarck about our faith reflect that unfortunate ignorance that a lot of people have, even elected officials.
Dr. Frederickson says most high school and college students would know the similarities between Christianity and Islam, and most people at the Islamic Society of Fargo Moorhead say it's sad things like this still happen in the legislature.
We're months away, but expect summer construction work along NP Avenue in downtown Fargo. Fargo planners and engineers are developing the stretch between University and 10th Street. It calls for 2 lanes of traffic in one direction and 1 lane with a bike path in the other. Parking would be allowed on both sides of the street. City Commission will review the plans a week from Monday.
The annual celebration of winter kicked off in Rochester, Minnesota today, and the ice bars and sculptures are frozen into place, transforming the look of Peace Plaza through tomorrow night. Hoisting hundreds of pounds of frozen art, ice carvers put finishing touches on 7 unique ice bars. Gawkers watched all the Peace Plaza action from the warmth of nearby skyways, but many hardy Minnesotans ventured out into the cold to take some photos of the ice creations, as many call it, ice culture. The plaza will be open through 4 o'clock tomorrow night.
Sometimes it feels like winter will never be over, but I can tell you this, ice fishing season is almost over for Minnesotans.
Valley News Team's Macy Enger went out to Upper Cormorant Lake to check out how the last weekend of ice fishing is going. Macy?
Stephanie, several Minnesota fishing seasons close on Sunday, and soon after, ice houses must be removed. But the Minnesota State Conservation Officer I talked with says it's better to get your ice fishing houses off sooner rather than later because there's not a lot of snow, and that way you can avoid missing the deadline.
Catching walleye is a waiting game.
It's something unique that not a whole lot of other states get, and a very strong tradition in Minnesota.
But not for long, because there's only a few more days to get in on the action.
Yep, just jigging.
Walleye season closes on the 22nd, as does the northern and largemouth bass season and spearing.
The next move for anglers is to take their ice houses off of Minnesota lakes. These rules are written for one reason.
What it is, it's safety and being able to get your ice house out before the ice gets weak enough to where it could potentially cause a problem.
That way, everyone wins.
Now for our area, if you take a look at this map behind me, any ice houses sitting south of this line have to be taken off lakes by March 2nd, and any shacks north of those 2 highways must be taken off by March 16th. Now, if you live in North Dakota, all ice houses must be taken off lakes by March 15th. Stephanie?
I believe it's already here. All right, thanks, Macy. Officer Landmark also says to take a few minutes to pick up after yourself. Don't leave any trash behind. He says conservation officers document, photograph, and use GPS to locate fish houses breaking this rule. And when the deadline comes, they'll issue citations if it's not removed.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Well, there certainly was some excitement today. We had temperatures that were in the upper 20s.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, you were doing somersaults through the newsroom.
Yes,
all,
and you were doing cartwheels.
Cartwheels and somersaults. It was all fun and games, but I think the warmth is short-lived. Taking a look at our day today, we did have some flurries dash their way across the skyline, and out to the west, that trend continues. And I do want to point you in the direction of our website, valleynewslive.com. Under the weather tab, you can get the latest on road conditions. There are icy roads out west and north and some snow-covered roads as well. Right now in Fargo, Moorhead, 13 degrees, wind from the north at 20, and that's one of the things that's causing some problems. Blowing that light and fluffy snow over the roads, causing it to freeze thanks to the wind. The wind chills are back below zero. Jamestown reporting snow this hour, 18 above the temperature. Slippery roads in Stutzman County and Barnes County as well. 5 in Thief River Falls, 9 in Devil's Lake, and as mentioned, 18 in the Jamestown area. Temperatures near 10 from Detroit Lakes out towards Wadena, 8 for Bemidji and Babe the Blue Ox. Factor in the winds out there between 5 and 25 miles per hour. And we have wind chills approaching 10 below zero heading into the overnight. Now, as we take a look at the radar, most of that snow staying in the central Dakotas from Minot down Highway 52 down towards western Stutzman County. And that's where most of the snowfall will remain. Temperatures much milder down to the west, and the cold air, as it continues to push its way southward, will continue to cause our temperatures to slide. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Overnight tonight, spotty flurries with gusty winds continuing. Wind chills in the morning will be on the side of brutal, as we'll be between 20 and 35 below as far as what it feels like on exposed skin. And we want to remind everyone traveling across the region for hockey, for basketball, or for fun to put that survival kit in the back of the vehicle. Make sure you have something in there to stay warm should you get stranded. Through the day, temperatures in our southern counties south of I-94 along Highway 10 and Point South will get to zero or just above. Everyone else to the north will be below zero all day long, with brutal wind chills really starting to bite tomorrow night, as we'll see temperatures dropping well below zero by 10 o'clock on Valley News Live tomorrow evening. We'll be near 10 to 15 below region-wide, with wind chills at 35 below. And then as we head into Sunday morning, we could have some wind chills greater than 50 below zero on Sunday morning. Dangerous wind chills. This wind chill advisory in effect all the way through at least Sunday midday. So get ready for the cold to take hold. Fargo's hour-by-hour planner shows the temperatures dive overnight. We'll start out our day at sunrise around 0 degrees, and the temperatures continue to stay fairly steady. Your high, by the way, tomorrow will happen at about midnight, so get out there in an hour and a half and enjoy yourself. We'll peak at around 1 above tomorrow, but then we really go into the deep freeze heading into Sunday. Your 5 o'clock planner, southeast North Dakota, will have temperatures at 5 o'clock below zero, with gusty northwest winds continuing to cause blowing and drifting snow. I don't think we'll see much in the way of new snow other than flurries. Temperatures to the north will be closer to 10 below for most of our counties up there. A brutal start to your Sunday is in order, and Fargo will have its coldest morning of the season thus far at 20 below. Below zero all day for almost every county in our area on Sunday. Then we warm up on Monday back to 20. That'll have Mike doing cartwheels and somersaults, with a chance of a flurry or two into Tuesday. Then the cold air returns. So.
And you'll do some backflips, right?
If I do, I'll probably bump my head because I'm not very good at backflips.
No? Okay.
We'll wait.
Oh.
You're encouraging my practice,
Yes,
I'm sure.
We are. Well, still ahead for us tonight. There have been an increase in hypothermia deaths recently.
But first, world leaders approve a new quick way to test for Ebola.